All right, we are on part 7 of, which is the final part of the Adult Ed Algebra Extra Credit Packet. So we're on page 13 now, and we have to find the slope between each pair of points. And the equation for slope is up at the top of the page here, but I will show you how it practically applies. So if you got something like this, I'd first label my points x1 and y1, and x2 and y2. And the reason why they're labeled like this literally is this point is the first point, so x1, y1. This one's the second one, hence x2, y2. That's the only reason. So you'd set it up, y2 minus y1, negative 2 minus 4, x2 minus x1, 1 minus negative 1. Now anytime you have a double negative, you're going to make it into a plus. So negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6, and 1 plus 1 is 2. And the great thing about slope is that you never have to reduce the slope fractions. So you can just leave it as negative 6 over 2, because that is motion, and it tells you that on your graph, you're going to go down 6 units and over 2 to the right. That's what it tells you. Number 2, x1, y1, and x2, y2. We've got 1 minus 5 on the top, negative 3 minus 3 on the bottom. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. Number 3, again, x1, y1, and x2, y2. So we've got negative 2 minus negative 3, and negative 1 minus 1. This is going to be a plus, so we've got positive 1 over negative 2. And if it helps, a visual links the points like this. The y's are together and the x's are together. So if that helps to draw that between the points, you could do that. Problem 4, negative 4 minus negative 4, 6 minus 2, plus, that's 0 over 4, number 4. Number 5, negative 3 minus 1, negative 2 minus 2. So that's negative 4 and negative 4. And the final problem on this sheet is 7 minus negative 2, 5 minus 5. So that's going to be a plus. You've got 9 over 0. Now we're going to page 14. So we've got, these are both examples. There's no actual work on this page, but the slope is always the number in front of the x, and the y-intercept is the number that's by itself. So you can refer to this y equals mx plus b over on the right here. That's our equation for slope-intercept form. So once you have the y-intercept, that's where you start your line. That's why they started right here at negative 1 on the y-axis, because it's the y-intercept. And slope is always going to be a fraction, so that 3 is going to be 3 over 1. We can do that to any number, just put it over 1 to turn it into a fraction. That means that from your point at negative 1 where you started, you're going to go up 3 units and over 1 to the right. And right here, your y-intercept is 2, so you start at positive 2. The negative 3 over 4, you're going to go down 3 units over 4 to the right. I chose to put the negative with the top. You could also choose to put it with the bottom of the fraction, in which case we'd go up 3 units and then over 4 to the left, because it would be the negative direction. So that's it for this page. Alright, so on this page, on number 1, our slope is 2, which is the number in front of the x, so I rewrote it as 2 over 1, because slope is always a fraction. Then the y-intercept is 5, which is just the number by itself. So I started at positive 5 on the y-axis, and then I went up 2 units and over 1 to the right for my line, because you always need 2 points to draw a line, and you can do that from the intercept and the slope. Problem 2, our y-intercept was negative 3, which is the number by itself, and then I went up 1 and over 2 to the right, because that 1 and the 2 were positive. Problem 3, our slope is negative 2/5, and our y-intercept is 4. So we know that we have to start our line at positive 4, which is right here. And we have 2 choices for this. We could choose the negative to be with the top, so that would mean that you go down 2 over 5 to the right. Or if the negative belonged to the bottom, you'd go up 2 and over 5 to the left. But it would make the same line, whichever one you choose. You don't need 3 points, you really only need 2 of them. But you can't put the negative with both the top and the bottom, because in that case it'd be negative 2 over negative 5. And we know that a negative divided by a negative is positive, so that'd be 2/5, which is not our slope. So we can't do that. Number 4 is a little interesting. It's our last problem. There is no y-intercept, so we're going to call that 0. It starts at 0, 0. And our slope is negative 3. As a fraction, that would be negative 3 over 1. So we're starting at 0, either going down 3 over 1 to the right, or going up 3 over 1 to the left. So there we've got our graph for number 4. And this concludes the Algebra Extra Credit Packet. Thank you for bearing with me through all these pages, and best of luck. I hope that this was helpful.